Do you want to be the voice in the background?
Whatever.
I don't know. Yeah, right. So I don't know. So I'm here alone. This is fun. Chasing Laughter episode, gosh, I don't know, it would be number 4 coming out, solo mish. Definitely nervous doing this. And, I've talked to a lot of people about doing this podcast, and they're just like, man, how do you do that? You put yourself out there for, basically judgment. And that's kind of a gross thing about Bishop, because there is so much judgment. But I mean, we are who we are, right? And I'm proud of the person that I am. So more than anything, I think I want to try to inspire people to take those risks and do these things like this and make yourself uncomfortable, because great things happen. If one person gains inspiration from anything I say today, then it's pretty radical. So we're going to freeball this. And yeah, today we had a new Pope. Do you know much about the Pope?
He's American.
He's American, right? It's crazy. I was talking to a person, and they were kind of afraid of what was going on because they didn't know what happens when the Pope died. And I was like, I don't know either. I've probably been alive when the Pope dies, had to be sometime in my 47 years on this planet, but it seems that they would have something in place. It's not going to create the apocalypse, and they do have something in place. Let's find out about this new Pope. New Pope 2025. Leo the 14th is the new Pope. Yes, peace be with all of you. First words spoken in, I believe, Italian, right? He didn't speak. His first words that came out were, I believe, Italian. It's pretty interesting.
Yes, they have a conclave. There used to be 70 voting members. So there were 70 cardinals who would come and they'd do a big caucus. And if they didn't have a decision, was it black smoke? And then they had a decision, what else white smoke?
Yeah. And I guess this was something big because it only took 4 votes. So the guy was being like, if it comes on the 4th vote, then it's definitely somebody that's been talked about. And they were trying to, talk more about that.
I ran for Pope, but I didn't get the 70 votes required.
You didn't get
Then they changed it. You have to be Catholic. It was actually not a rule for a while. We really changed that, yes.
And where did this guy come from? Cardinal Robert Francis Prevost was elected as Pope Thursday. The first time an American has been selected as, somehow this is going to be boiled. This is going to become political, right? Because there was a rumor, J.D. Vance went and visited our current Pope, and then he died. And then it was J.D. Vance is a vampire or something like that. And then so now the Pope's American, it's a conspiracy. I tell you right now, bet on that. Prevost, 69th chosen PayPal name. I don't even know what that means. So he's Leo the 14th, which is really close to King Louis the 13th, which happens to be my favorite campus. Oh, I bet you didn't see that coming. I just finished up with a lovely lunch with 2 of my most favorite people on the planet. So if you guys are watching this, Randy Pritchard, happy birthday. And Gina Ellis, happy birthday. Both just lovely and powerful women. And they're such, not only are they just straight, bad bees, in every sense of that word, they're just so powerful to be around and inspirational to be around. And we had some of the greatest conversations. And, so happy birthday to both you girls. They're 2 of my most favorite people on the planet, and they both had birthdays at the same time. So that was a really fun thing and a kind of a neat little thing about my day. We had a lot of conversation about, empowering ourselves with confidence and being who we are and vibrating as your authentic self. And that's where the biggest doors come open in my life has always been when I'm just being me. And sometimes you're afraid to be you because you stand out. And I think I was meant to stand out. I think I was meant to take up space and be the person who I am to, everybody, to the community, to whoever it might be. So It was a very cementing, like, it was fun to do. That's what I want to say. I run out of stuff to say. What else do I want to say? What else is going on in the world, Jimmy?
Governor Newsom is asking for $20 or $40 billion to rebuild Palisades because they don't have the money.
That's wild. So is it? How do you? If a state doesn't have money, and he's just asking for money, does that mean that they're just going to raise taxes?
Yes.
Right. I heard something about him wanting to raise the cannabis tax, which is wild. It's only like all they're doing, in my opinion, is just making the black market, come back in a crazy way. The black market for cannabis was huge in California for everybody knew it. Like the best weed comes from California is a lot of hip hop lyrics, right? So like it's just a dangerous thing, You're getting a lot of surplus grown cannabis that isn't going to be white labeled, and then, it's driving drug use,
And they're called sin taxes. They charge you for the things that give you pleasure. Alcohol, cannabis.
Oh.
I resent that. Of course, I also resent the property tax because that means you don't own something.
I don't know. This is CBS News, and I don't know what news source is reputable. And because in the world of fake news, is anything true anymore? There's these dudes on YouTube, Channel 5. He like Vice used to be the old school way to get your news that was pretty much unfiltered, right? It was RT for a while, but they always take the not the American twist on things because it's Russian television. And then Vice was doing a really good job. But now this guy, I forget his name, but I watch a lot of segments from him just because he gives you the news. He goes there. He's just like, he interviews these people, interviews those people, what's happening at ground zero of what it might be. The one that I witnessed was, or watched, I witnessed it. I didn't witness it. Well, I guess I did. I witnessed it. The one that I watched was him sneaking back into America from Mexico. Those poor people, man. Like that is, that's gnarly, bro. Super gnarly. California will double the taxes on guns and ammunition and use the money to pay for more security at public schools and various violence prevention programs under a new law Gavin Newsom signed Tuesday. Is this for real? You're going to tax? That's nuts, bro. This is absolutely wild. I'm still looking for the taxes on sin tax. This is what came up. The federal government already taxes the sale of guns and ammunition either 10 or 11%, depending on the type of firearm. The law Newsom signed adds another 11% tax on top of that, making it the only state with its own tax on guns and ammunition, according to gun control advocacy group Brady. Wild. It's a sin tax, though, is what you're talking about.
Yes.
Newsom also signed a law that starting July 1st, 2028 will require all semi-automatic pistols sold in California to have micro-stamping technology. That means each bullet would have a unique mark. It already does, right?
Not the bullet itself. The barrel, the rifling on the barrel.
So it says bullet. We're not marking it easier law enforcement tracking on fire.
Yep.
So is he talking casing? Because the slug, right? That's
what he wants it on.
Yeah, but it already has it from the barrel imprint.
Yeah, but he wants everyone to have its own private number.
So it's just like, okay.
Which is kind of technology that's almost impossible.
Yeah. Put a microchip in there?
Yes.
Oh, these laws will not make us any safer is the argument of why not to. California, the answer is not taxing, right? If you have to get more money, it means you're going in the wrong direction in any business, right? Like you're just borrowing. You're not even borrowing money. You're demanding money from the public. I want to get closer to these sin taxes. We'll put cannabis tax.
Alcohol, tobacco, drugs, candy, soft drinks, fast food, coffee, sugar, gambling, vaping, cannabis, pornography. Whoa. I thought it was free.
So So this is going on. This was starting July. This is going to happen. Starting July 1st, 2025, California statewide cannabis excess tax levied on dispensary sales will jump from 15 to 19%, representing a 27% increase starting in July. That's making it like people won't buy weed from a store if it's too expensive, man.
And isn't your weed certified to be like basically drug free?
Yes, because there's a lot of crazy stuff that goes on in the industry with that too. Because you have reputable people who do that spectral analysis, reputable labs, and then I could go buy a spectral analysis machine, open up my own lab, get certified through the state, and then there's not the most honest people doing that. If you're however many pounds of product that you're trying to get tested fails, it could be like, hey, for another 15 racks I can make it pass, or you lose out on your harvest, right? So there's nefarious work in the background on that. But yeah, it's all spectral analysis. It tells the heavy metals, it tells the pesticides, doesn't test for bugs because bugs are
Organic.
That's exactly right. So
Didn't they lace marijuana with cocaine in the old days to get you? No, seriously, that's the way we get you addicted. It's like,
oh sure,
the first one's free, then they lace it with cocaine.
I don't know if that's true. Just because cocaine's expensive and like you're putting an expensive thing on something that's not expensive to get the people to come back. It's like that whole kind of wives' tale of don't eat the candy because it's going to be drugs. Nobody's giving drugs out for free. Drugs cost money, right? There's nobody that's doing that. But there is I want to talk about OCE Cal organic because that's the new certification. OCE Cal organic brown. GROWN cannabis. That's the new way. California Department of Food and Drug Administration, OCal Cannabis Certification Program. OCal is a statewide certification program that establishes and enforces comparable to organic cannabis standards. But it's a state thing, right? It's not just, I do this. You having the state come in and actually say, no, you did that. We're going to stamp it for you. Anybody can be called organic.
How much does it cost?
I don't know. Why is it called comparable to organic is a better question, right?
Yes.
Like why? I don't know. You're comparing, you can compare apples to oranges, right?
Yes.
The Department of Food and Agriculture's CDFA was required by law to establish a certification program for cannabis that is comparable to the National Organic Program, NOP. Nope. The California Organic Food and Farming Act. Oh, ANDA. I read horrible. However, only the National Organic Program can authorize the use of the word organic on packaging. So that's what it is. That's why it's comparable. It's just because it's the same thing. It's the same thing. You just can't use that word. Right?
Yes.
The word that shall not be spoken. The term OCal is used in reference to cannabis products. It means that product consists of cannabis produced in a way that's comparable to organic. Yes, if the cannabis is produced in a way that is comparable to organic, then those growing practices may be eligible for recognition through OCal certification. I wonder what those are. Damn, it's a lot of stuff. That can get a really boring conversation. Anyways, that's the new way to grow organic. And I don't even know how we talked about taxes and not to hear.
Is your cannabis kosher?
Wouldn't you have to pickle it?
No, just have it inspected by a rabbi.
Oh, so it's not like the kosher pickles?
Nope.
Oh. Are the kosher pickles inspected by rabbis?
It has a little mark on it. But they go to a facility and check
like
out.
A kosher dill pickle, right? Like Vlasic. So those ones are special because they got inspected by a rabbi. That rabbi has to look at a lot of pickle stock.
Yes.
I don't believe it.
Basically, we check out the factory, make sure everything's good.
Oh, so that way. In the proverbial weed.
Proverbial, yes.
Oh my God. That is wild right there. What else is going on in the news?
the super train to nowhere is 0.001% complete, as I understand it. It might be 0.01% complete.
Does it really go to nowhere?
According to Orange County Register, they've laid 0 track. Like, oh, jeez.
This California, what do I want to ask? Does the California train actually going to go somewhere? What's the route of it? Like, wasn't it supposed to like alleviate traffic, right? That's why they're doing it?
Supposed to go from LA to San Francisco, but they got so much stuff. So many people said no that they moved it out of LA a couple of hours. They moved it out of San Francisco a couple of hours. So basically, you drive a couple hours, get your train.
So you drive a couple hours?
Yes.
Interesting. How from Vegas to Frisco, from LA to San Fran. Drive. It's 6 hours. So you're taking 2 hours off, which is still saving some emissions. So I don't know. Ride the train, people.
Public transportation.
You know, I was talking about it. My friends Jeff and Jesse just went to New York and watched the Yankee game last night. And this is a very odd thing to admit, but everybody knows I'm a Dodgers fan. I have Dodger Stadium tattooed on the back of my leg, right? Like I love baseball. It's a weird thing to love, but I do love it. And they went to the Yankee game last night. And then after the Yankee game, like they're riding the subway. And it's just like, I can't wait to go do stuff like that. And he was like, well, we had to, because you don't like necessarily drive anywhere. It's fast. It's $3. Could be kind of dangerous, but that's just, public transportation. And Los Angeles has a subway. And it really makes me like, I've never even thought about commuting on the subway in Los Angeles. I don't even know where it runs to or from. It's like a, downtown thing and then kind of dispersed. Probably makes sense because everybody should be trying to get to work, isn't it?
Because Amtrak goes up and down the coast, and BART, the Bay Area Rapid Transit, that's great.
It goes under the bay.
Yep.
Yeah, which is radical. And I mean, we do need more public transit.
In large cities, it's economically feasible. When you get away from 6-digit populations, buses will work, but that's about it.
Yeah.
Until the price of... So what about the price of gas going up?
The price of gas is always like, it just creeps up and then it goes back down to think that, oh, well, they lowered it, right? But it used to be $3, and then it was $5, and then it became like $3.90, right? And then it was like, oh, they got back to normal, and then it didn't, and then it was $5, and then now it's only $4.10. It's just so crazy how...
Did you hear Valero was going to close down their refinery?
No.
They said they've had it with the California business environment, and they're shutting it down, which is about 20% of the gas in California.
That's crazy.
Yep.
What a time to be alive. So you can go from downtown Santa Monica, you can go from Redondo Beach to down to Los Angeles, right? This thing is being weird. With all kinds of stops along the way. And then up all as far as way as Chatsworth to North Hollywood, and then back downtown. And then what's this place down here? Lakewood, all the way down by the beach. That's crazy. I never even really thought about it. One of my most favorite movies is Roger Rabbit. You ever watch that movie?
Oh, yes.
Then they had trolley cars back in Los Angeles back in the day. Really makes me wonder if they could have kept those trolley cars. Would it be more like just in certain areas like Frisco? You know what I mean? Because it's like there's something, nostalgic and awesome about going around a trolley car in Frisco.
Absolutely.
I think that's pretty neat. We need a trolley car. Start a trolley car in Bishop. Tourism, boom. Right there. Let's go ride the trolleys in Bishop. To where? Laws.
One of the federal programs they had was they wanted to encourage cities to have public transportation. So they said, okay, we need to put in trolleys. And their definition of a trolley was a railroad track with a trolley on it. Well, several cities, Memphis, for example, they said, "Oh, we're going to put in trackless trolleys." You mean a bus? Yeah, so there's always a way to scam the system.
Is that why those buses are shaped like trolleys?
Mhm.
Because it's a trackless trolley?
Yes.
Oh, dude, that's beautiful, man. Oh my goodness gracious. Mental Health Awareness Month. Definitely love that.
Yeah.
Definitely. I have been fortunate enough in my life to be there for people who are struggling, and could potentially be, wanting to check out of this world. And in my sobriety, just by the grace of God, I'm chosen. It's been several times. And it's huge because I struggled with mental health. You know what I mean? We're on an organic spaceship, basically, right? Like just hurtling through what? There's no rule book well, that's not true. The Bible, read your Bible, folks. There's no, instructions, right? There's no manual to like a successful life. It's just so challenging to just think about existence in general and purpose, and a lot of the times I find purpose in those moments when you're chosen to really make an impact on people. And it's everything, you know what I mean? And the way that I have coached others, and it's a pretty successful way to do so, is the way that I was coached, when I was struggling. Because the day that I became sober, I think I've talked about it before, and if not, it might come as a shock to a lot of people that know and love me, but I was going to commit suicide. Dead serious. I had a bucket, I had fertilizer, I had diesel fuel, and I was going to go out and sit on it and just blow myself up. Right? Because I was so embarrassed I was an alcoholic. Like, I hated everything that was happening in my life. I felt so out of touch with who I was and out of control in my life that I couldn't do it. And the audible hallucinations from alcohol, when you're as deep as I was, it's pure evil coming through to you. And it's a lie. The devil is a liar. And, I heard my son Corrigan in his room, and it was just God came rushing back into me. And he, whatever it might be, call it whatever you might want to, the creator, the universe, I felt surrounded again, and I felt purpose again. And then I knew that if I was going to choose to be here anymore, it could not be under the influence of alcohol. And I just prayed, and I continued to pray. And I got sober by myself with no, I didn't take medication. I was probably so close several times to dying, and I felt heart palpitations and just blood pressure. And I just prayed. I was like, man, if this is it, bro, then this is it. Like, I'm okay with it, but I'm not going to do it drunk. And one day turned into two day turned into 3. Things got better. A week went by, a month went by, 6 months went by, and life continued to change for me. And I had some conversations with some friends, and a way to change your life. And this has worked for a lot of people, not just me. The people who I've told this to and it helped. It's a really strange thing to do, but start your morning, do whatever you do. Like, if it's use the facilities, brush your teeth, eye contact, and you tell yourself with eye contact that I love you 10 times. And it's insanely hard to do. And because I hated myself. And I stuck with it. And it was a lie at first. And then I found I became proud of myself for doing it and making that commitment to who I'm looking at in the mirror, which is sometimes a really hard person to look at. And I continued to do it, and things changed. And some things changed for what seemed to be the worst, because even though I did become sober, I lost my family. And it was because I was an alcoholic. You know what I mean? Like, I was not like never abusive, but just emotionally cut off because of my alcoholism to the person who I love the most, and it sucked to have to leave Amanda and the boys. But without doing that, it really jump-started me to try to be the person who I want to be every day. And it's hard to be that person. And it takes a lot to wake up and believe in yourself enough to make those choices, to be different, to stand out, to not have those fears. And it all starts with I love yous. So it just, if you want to change, give it a shot. And if not, the only thing that you did was say 10 words different every day. Well, I love you, right? So that'd be 30 words different. Am I saying that right? Is that I'm not good at math, people. But that's how it changed for me. And the people the person who told me is like a very successful person. And he was in a very similar situation and heard it from a TED talker. I don't know, but changed his life. And I trusted him, and it changed my life, and it can change your life too. So there's that came out of this episode. Figure out.
Have you heard about the new mental health awareness ice bucket challenge?
Yes,
It's legit.
I have talked about this extensively with a couple different people, and you said that, so I'm going to get nominated.
No, I was tempted, but I'm not going to do that.
But yeah, you fucker. So yes, I have, and I just want to say I've seen a couple of people do it, and like I'm 100% going to do it. But what I have noticed is that nobody's speaking on mental health awareness. So just I was nominated, ice bucket. Talk about why. Talk about what you struggled. Inspire people to do this. You know what I mean? We need to talk. People are so afraid to be themselves because of judgment. You know what I mean? And like we're all so similar in this world, and we just all want to be loved and accepted. And once you can do that to a different person and start that wave of like just being nice, right? Not judgmental, not talking shit behind people's back. It's just, it's so gross. So low vibration, Jimmy. Right? So like become vulnerable. Talk about it. We all struggle with it. If you haven't struggled with mental health, call me. Come here. I want to interview you and know your secrets, because those are like, you may need to write books about that shit. You know what I mean?
Not only do you love yourself, you forgive yourself.
It's a lot of it, bro. I didn't forgive myself for months, right? And it's still hard, to forgive myself. But I was standing in line and I was buying some gifts, and the transaction took like 11 minutes, and it was 11 minutes, not 43 seconds. And the lady was just like, "Oh, I'm sorry it's taking so long." And I was like, I've never found that I'm not where I'm supposed to be, right? So I can't make it go any faster, and I'm okay with how long it's taking. That's just what it is. Like traffic, or with wherever you might be, you're there. You're supposed to occupy that space. You're supposed to, I don't know why, but most of the time there's purpose, right? You struggle with mental health ever? Mental health ever? You ever struggle with mental health ever?
Yes.
Confidence?
I come from a family of organic depression.
Yeah, bro, that's gnarly, right? And it's a generational trauma. You know what I mean? And same with me. Like it's so crazy how I think they've almost pinpointed it down to like what emotions are carried in the moment of your conception, like what your parents dealt with in the very recent past at your conception are basically hardwired into you. So if they were betrayed, or if they have trust issues, if they feel so conscious about this or that, or, whatever it is, like that's inherently ingrained into your DNA. Like you're just, here you go. This is your, this your stuff you're born with, you know what I mean? And like growing up in peer pressure and in the circle from kindergarten, all the way through until even some people now can't be themselves around their friends because they're afraid they'll get made fun of, or, be called a pussy or a bitch, or, whatever it might be. And those aren't your friends, man. Those aren't your friends. You know what I mean? How did you get through it?
Yeah, every morning, say I love myself.
You are fibbing. Do you? Start.
When I was desperate, yes.
It's such a powerful thing to do, man. It's so like you're investing in the only thing you have on this planet, and that's the person you stare at in the mirror. And when this is another thing is when I don't, sometimes I don't, and sometimes I forget. But if you see yourself in the mirror, high five. If you hope, because you're never in a bad mood, Like when you give somebody a high five, it's an endorphin type of a thing, brain chemical thingy. But it works too.
The other side of it, Jackie Chan made a point of saying, don't call yourself stupid. Don't call yourself retarded.
Anything.
Yeah. Don't dump on your own parade.
There's like the why they call it spelling, right? Because words, are literally spells. You're speaking things into existence in a way, like what am I doing later? I will tell you later. Manifestation is real, right? It's like we're literally creating our reality with the thoughts that we have. And like it's hard to believe it. I'm proof, like 100%. Have I won the lottery? No. Do I create that and try to manifest it on a daily fucking basis? Right? Every day, bro. So, but just like to be better, you know what I mean? To be healthy, to have courage. I speak those things into truths. I speak those things into my reality because that's the way I speak to myself. You know what I mean?
Do you have a list of your affirmations that you meditate on for 10 minutes in the morning?
I've heard about it. The red light therapy. First 30-minute or first, from sunrise, shut your eyes, face the sun, meditate, do those things. I do not. And I'm going to tell you why. Because I don't like mornings.
Okay,
I don't. And everybody that knows me knows that's true. It's not that I'm grumpy in the mornings. And I've talked about this. I just don't know what to do in the mornings. Like I like to wake up and then have purpose. Like waking up and then just like, I'm just awake. I was awake at 3 a.m. this morning because I went to bed early, which is wild. We had a very successful day of fishing with me and my uncle and my father until we were coming in the harbor and Dad's engine, transmission grenaded on us. He just put a brand new longboat in that thing like 5 years ago. 1994 Champion bass boat, gorgeous boat, collector's edition. And we were just zipping along in the dinner, and then his drive wouldn't work. And thank goodness we had the trolling motor and got back in safely. But that happened yesterday. That was wild. Why did I tell that story?
Because you don't like mornings.
I don't like mornings.
No.
Oh, I just babble on like a little parrot.
Well, Earl Nightingale, he said you need to make a list and you make them positive affirmations like, today I will avoid sugar. Today I will work for 8 hours straight. And you meditate on those for 10 minutes. You're putting the imprintation on your brain.
Yeah, I always say in the morning, this is something that I do, is I say something amazing is going to happen today. And it does. Like, even if it's a very, like, the littlest of interactions that I've had have been the most impactful things. And today it was hanging out with Randy and Gina. Like, they're just rad. I called Gina. We've been friends my entire life. And Facebook told me it was her birthday. So I called her and I sung her happy birthday. And she was like, oh, I'm at the golf course and I'm waiting for Randy because it's her birthday too. And I was like, what? So because they're both just great people, I went and got them a couple of gifts and dropped them off. And then we had just great, powerful conversations of two insanely positive people. We need a group in Bishop to where we all can come together, like talk about it, how to just be better humans and business ideas and practices. Like I would love to have host and facilitate something like that. A lot of hopes and dreams.
Right? Every day is an adventure.
Every day is a new day. No, it is.
You had an amazing lunch with two amazing ladies. That was a great adventure.
A super, super good adventure. I also went to the post office today because like in typical James fashion, I forgot to mail my mom's Mother's Day card yesterday. And that's like post, you know what I mean? To make it was pretty much yesterday. And if you were going to send it like regular stamp post, it was probably on Mother. So I went priority mail and it might not even get there till Monday. So Mom, if you're watching this, I tried. Feel that.
Do you ever read the fine print on the USPS overnight delivery?
I did 2-day, right? But no. And it probably says that this is not going to work.
It says it takes up to 3 days for overnight delivery.
Yeah. Yeah, rarely, right? Because, well, you have to drop it off. It has to get processed. And then if, like, for whatever reason, you go to such a small facility where it gets processed on that truck that next morning, that's a lot of, logistical um, probabilities that are not going to happen. Somebody might be sick that day, bro. Oh, man.
Someone can't read your handwriting.
Oh, I have good handwriting. I've been told I have good handwriting. And we might have talked about this, and it was because in my day, you had to write notes. We did talk about this. It didn't come out, though, right? Because
That's right.
that's the episode that we need to reshoot. And we will definitely reshoot that with Miss Emma Aromo. That was a really good episode, man.
Oh, yeah. What an amazing young lady.
Yeah, isn't she?
Yeah.
I follow her, you know what I mean? She's rad, dude. There's so many different people in the Bishop that are just like that, and that's why I wanted to have this podcast was, to talk to them and get to know them a little bit better. So I'm working on booking some new exciting guests. If you guys want to be on this podcast, reach out, like come in. There's no pressure. I'm not typically going to have, questions asked unless it's kind of like a Mule Days thing, right? Or the mayor thing, because there was very specific things going on. So if you're head of your department, I might have some questions for you. But if you're just a homie, you want to come on and just talk, like you have your own business, or, just want to come in and talk, like this is what it's here for. You know what I mean?
What is the most positive thing that happened to you this week?
I empowered myself. I bet on myself. I love to gamble on myself because I know when I want to do something, like it's pretty much a guaranteed done. And, I can't really talk about it right now, right? But I put my foot down. I'm not settling for mediocrity, and I gambled on myself. You know what I mean? And yeah, dude, I feel great. Gambling on yourself, trusting yourself, believing in yourself.
What's the most positive thing you did for someone in the last 2 weeks?
I was called upon to keep a person on this planet. I had a friend who was struggling, and by the grace of God, you know what I mean? And I told him this, right? The reason why I didn't commit suicide that day was because of him, and I didn't know it until I was there. Well, like all the people who have reached out when time of doubt or in sobriety, a lot of people reach out to me in sobriety, and like I'm always there for all y'all, man. No matter what time of the night it is, if you feel like picking up a bottle, like message, call. If we're close, you definitely have my phone number, so just call me. We'll talk it out. The opportunity to be alive to help another person choose life is just radical. It's so powerful, and I'm about it every single time. It gives me purpose. And it's, in that situation, there's a lot of things that can culminate to just make you feel so alone, and you're not. Like there's so many, I don't care who you are, somebody loves you, man, and somebody would just hurt if you weren't here. Like this is the only chance that we get at whatever this life is. Like this is the only one. And why, live in suffrage? Why not just trust and believe in yourself? And why is because it's easier, right? To not take those chances, not to hate yourself or anything like that, but it's easier to not take chances. It's super easy for me to be an alcoholic. Like, bro, like let's go get a bottle and not for you to like think about our feelings. It's like, what's easier than that? Ugh, it's gross.
What is the most positive thing someone did for you this last 2 weeks?
Gosh, so I don't want to pin one down because I don't want to make anybody else feel
Just a couple,
right.
in no particular order.
Though, well, that going to help my friend, it was probably the most positive thing, right? It seemed like a negative thing, but it wasn't. It's a super positive thing. People like I see, like I have lost a tremendous amount of weight, like a noticeable amount of weight. So people always compliment me you know, and like, I do put myself out there, like, and I don't want accolades and I don't want, you know, people to, like, I'm not doing it, be like, oh, look at me. Cause like, no, don't look at me. Um, I do it just because like, I just want to be this person. You know, I want to go to the gym. I want to be better. I want to speak about mental health. I want to inspire people. I want to tell you that you can do it. Like that's, you know, so by losing that weight, by doing the things that I do, I get a lot of people being like, man, that's, you know, you're inspirational to us. And it's huge. It's huge for me. Like, thank you guys, every single one of you. And it's rad.
I have on a negative, I have a friend who's a raging alcoholic.
Oh.
He's been in rehab 6, 7 times, and but he's not sober-minded. You, on the other hand, you're sober-minded.
You can only do it for yourself.
Yes.
If you're going to do it for your family, you're going to fail. If you're going to do it for, like your kids or your friends, or you're setting yourself up for failure because you're not making the initial step, the main reason why, and that's us. The biggest, like it's the biggest, you know, like you have to do it for yourself. I try to get sober for Amanda, the boys, and my dad, and my dogs, and it never worked, right?
My other friend was a smoker, heavy smoker, and he had a newborn, took him to the doctor. The doctor said, his lungs aren't developing correctly. Is there anybody smoking? He goes, well, yeah, as a matter of fact. So he quit smoking because he wanted to see his child grow up.
Oh, hell yeah.
It's like, no, he did it for himself. It was selfish if you think about it, but he did it for himself.
And nicotine is a little bit different, right? Addictions are addictions, right? But like, in something that is so physically and like psychologically, right? There's a physical side of nicotine, but it doesn't like talk to you. And I'm not kidding, man. Like alcoholics, like when you're just encompassed in that space, you know what I mean? It's you drink because it's easier and you don't hear those horrible things. I don't know, man. This is wild, bro. This is wild. This is a whole mental thing.
A lot of people drink or do drugs to kill the pain.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So the question is, you find out, what is the pain?
What is it?
Work on the pain, not on not treating the symptoms, treat the cause.
Yeah, you got to treat the cause. And that's why, you know, mental health awareness month is so important. I always misquote the initials of that therapy that I did. It's like AMDR or something like that. And it's for post-traumatic, you know, stress. That a lot of us, and it like most people are walking around with that type of baggage. And it, like your brain is injured and it's not working in the correct way. The neural pathways are blocked and rerouted to where you're not getting coherent thoughts through the way that a healthy brain would. So I remember after the first treatment, you know, my I don't know if she's a psychiatrist or ologist or what the difference is between the two. I think one can prescribe you drugs and one can't, and I can't tell you which one that is. I was just like, my brain feels better. Like the first words that came out of my mouth, and she was like, what? I was like, my brain just, it felt better. The things were firing faster. You know, we did a couple more sessions and I probably definitely need to do more of them, but like you need to, like, it's courage. It's not, you know, being a coward or any sort of, I don't know, like people call you a pussy because you got to go talk to somebody. Yeah, bro, I do. Right? Most people should. And most people do because they have friends to do so. You know what I mean? And there's no, like the best therapy can be, you know, just hanging out with a homie and talking, or a parent, a loved one. But like there's something to a person who dedicates 8 years of their life to school to want to, you know, try to help you. Like there's like I trust them. There's got to be something to it, right? Like a pope. Right? He went to Catholic school and proved he was Jesus-like enough to become the Pope. Because isn't that what the Pope is? Like he's not God, but he's lived like the Lord so much that he can become Pope. Isn't that who the Pope is to this world?
Yes, when it says it's from the chair, that means he's speaking the words of God.
Right. Yeah. So, I mean, psychologists are like the Pope of the mental health field. I said it. I said it. But yeah, like just it's okay, man. It's okay to talk to people.
What religion do you practice? Do you have one organized?
I was raised Calvary Baptist. You know, I am Christian. I have faith. It's just like in religion, it's so like muddled because you have like the original Bible, and then you have like the people who, translated that Bible. And then you have the people who won the wars who said, like, this needs to be in a different word now because books took it in, but books, it's hard to just be like, the Bible's what it is. That's just what it is. It's a great book, how to influence you upon life. But it can't be the end all. It just really can't be. And if that makes me a sinner, then I'm sorry, I'm sinning right now. But there's so many other spiritual ways in the world, right? And like being a spiritual person, having a religion, being a spiritual person, knowing that there is something out there, even if it's nothing, you atheist. Yes, you still believe in something because you believe in nothing, so you believe in something. So, anyways, Calvary Baptist is what I was raised, Jimmy.
Today is St. Mark's Martyr Day. He was Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. And he was dragged through the streets by the Romans by his neck until he died.
Jesus, man.
No, Mark, but yeah. But
things were so brutal, bro. Like at one point in time, there was crucifixes all the way to Rome, right? Down a certain road, like every single one was like the sinner. God, dude, oh. Things, I don't know, as volatile as the world may seem right now, I really truly believe like it's the most peaceful it's ever been. Okay. Like there's still war, and I'm not saying that there isn't, but like it's never been safer, I don't think. And as a whole, tell me I'm wrong.
No,
not you, anybody else.
Oh, sorry. Okay, fine.
Right? Tell me I'm wrong though, Jimmy.
No, you're right, because we look at the exceptions to the rule. In the old days, it was not the exception, it was the rule.
Right.
And especially if you read about New Mexico, the Lincoln County Wars, West Texas, brutal.
When I was watching the new Pope, is it like the Pope thing that happened? I don't know what you call it. Homie was there in like Spanish, conquistador. Like the most murderers ever were the Spanish. I don't even know how many people. Like it's an uncountable number of how many tribes and people were just murdered in the name of God, which is insane to me. It really truly is. I'm going to catch a lot of shit for this, but I have to say it because it's just clinking around my head. Catholics are known for molesting. I think every pope that ever takes the chair should have to do a polygraph test that says he's never touched another boy or girl. Said it. Hate me for it. But it's something that has come up, right? Like repeatedly in the Catholic religion is like they kind of groom people to be sexually assaulted. It's not really right. Hate me for it. I'm sorry I said it, but I had to get it out.
We'll extrapolate that to teachers.
Oh, for sure.
I don't remember any of this kind of malfeasance when I was a child.
It's gnarly. Anybody that's going to be around children, though, like we need to protect those poor kids.
It was a scandal for a while that bus drivers didn't want to be drug tested. I said, because it's a violation of their privacy. No, when you're in charge of 60 children in a bus, you kind of lose your right to privacy when it comes to drugs in your system.
Yeah, it's probably because those dudes smoked reefer. You know what I mean? And like, if I smoke reefer right now and like tomorrow I drive a bus, I'm not high. I'm not, there's like, I could do it's just a metabolite that hangs out in your system for a long time. There's no swabbable test to see if you're stoned, right? So I'm sure the people were just like, no, man, because they smoked the weed. If you're a bus driver, you probably should go home and smoke a little reefer because dealing with those kids on a bus, bro, like I couldn't, man. Like they asked me to be a bus driver. When I worked for the school district, I gladly declined that offer. Just the cafeteria was plenty. Kids are nuts. I love all of them, but they're nuts.
What about aviators? Do you think pilots should have a drug screen?
Immediately, right? And well, just because like it's pilots fly hungover all the time. It's a known thing that, right? The co-pilots probably, or the co-pilots flying, the pilots, sleeping or hungover. Like it's a thing in the aviation industry. So it's the biggest double-edged, so like what am I trying to say here? It's the biggest, thingy, that double standard that you can drink and it's okay, but you can't like smoke cannabis. And it's just because there's not something that is testable like a mouth swab, like an actual "are you high now" thing. And then if you you might be stuck. I don't know.
The phrase used to be 8 hours from bottle to throttle. And
I don't even think so, because I know people that slept 8 hours and still got a DUI.
Yeah, but like I said, that used to be the phrase,
right?
And now it's a day from bottle to throttle.
I talked to a homie not too long ago, and I was like, "Why are you on foot, dude?" And he was like, "Because I got a DUI." And I was like, "Well, you were drinking and driving, you dummy." And he was like, "No, it was the next day." And I was like, "Holy shit.
How much
The Jack's day." I know, he's like the third or fourth person like I've known to get a DUI the next day.
Well, DUI no longer just covers alcohol. It also covers prescription medicine or other recreational chemicals.
Yeah, but that's not like, you can't like blow into a breathalyzer for.
Yeah, but they do a field sobriety test.
Yeah, right. And like I'll fail a field sobriety test right now because I don't have the best balance. Yeah.
Yeah, my hand-eye coordination. Put your fingers together.
47, bro. It's just I'm getting older. You know what I mean? I'm not 30 and sharp anymore. Like I'm getting older. Right? Like if you want me to stand up and do something, and like I'm probably gonna wobble one way or the other. Like it's just I'm not just who I am. I'm not a agile little cat anymore.
See, that's why I'm an advocate of baseline testing. And okay, can you put your head back and touch your nose?
No.
Okay. So
If I lay down, we'd be all right. Yeah. We'd get dizzy. I was on the boat yesterday, like I said, for like until I woke up this morning. I felt like it was on the boat.
Yeah.
As soon as I got off, I was still just pitching and yawing around. Right. So if I would have got pulled over any time yesterday, then like I would have potentially been failed a field sobriety test. And then you go and you're like, "Oh, I need your blood" or whatever. And it's like, there's reefer in it. I smoke weed. Shh, don't tell anybody. But yeah, bus drivers, I understand. Right? It's just, they think most of them probably smoke the weed. Not most bus drivers, but the people who are saying, "No, we don't do that."
yeah, sorry, yeah.
Right. Not all bus drivers smoke weed.
The
Cool.
guilty people say, "Hey, don't do that."
Yeah. Most bus drivers don't do drugs because they are awesome people. Like all the ones that I know, they're all about the kids. You don't even have to think about testing those people, right? Because the ones that I know that I work with, they have a responsibility and they are there because they want to be protectors of those children, right? I guess like those guys were rad at the school. Every single one of those guys.
When I applied to become a substitute teacher, I had to go get my background check. And so they did everything like, "Do you exist? Have you gotten a parking ticket?" Nope.
I have had one ticket. Well, I got arrested and convicted. That was a whole thing. But I had one ticket for tinted windows. So he pulled me over, and I'm glad that we're talking about this because I have posted about it on BHOE when I was more prevalent there. But if it's raining and your windshield wipers are working and your headlights are not on, it is an infraction of the law. So I came down the hill, I have my wipers on and my headlights not on, and I got pulled over. And then he wrote me a ticket for my tinted windows. I was just like, ugh. He told me I was going to go have to peel them off. You know what I didn't do? Go peel them off. The next time he see me, I always, I turned abruptly. Oh, this is in Eureka, California.
Los Angeles are trying to pass contradictory laws where you can't tint your windows because it might be gang affiliated. People can't see inside. At the same time, they say you need to tint your windows to stop
UV rays.
UV rays and to reduce your air conditioning costs.
Yeah,
I
I know that the reason why California did eventually ban tinted windows is because like it was 100% limo tint and they were firing their officers through the window. You just don't see who you're pulling over. That is a huge thing. Talking to the police officers, dude, you guys are so nuts. Like, dude, it's so crazy to even fathom trying to be a cop. Like, it is nutty. I've talked to a couple of them, and like, you put your life on the line, and people are like, it's just somebody you don't know that the person is a threat who you're interacting with, even if it looks like she's not, or he's not, or they're not. It's scary. It's pretty wild. So shout out to all y'all.
especially nowadays where the judge just lets them go. Oh, you shot somebody. It's okay.
I was talking to a Forest Service ranger, and he was just like, some people were kind of taken back when I would approach them, and I had an AR, around. And he was in a forest, and it's because a lot of the time he was dealing with cartel. Not just you shouldn't have that fire there. I don't know if you're not. No, so pretty nutty, bro.
Do you remember 13 or 14 years ago where there was an extreme hiker and he found a grow and it had booby traps and guns and he carefully backed out.
Yeah.
And the response was, okay, don't do extreme camping or hiking. Like, wait a minute. They're in our national park.
Yeah. Yeah, it was down by Independence, right? Like,
I think that's right.
Or somewhere in that. Yeah. Yeah, gorilla grows. It's a thing.
And they're not very kind to the environment.
No, there's one that I follow, Wonder Hussy. She's this magical little whimsical lady who does adventures to mostly hot springs. And she's very Huell Hauser. I know I've talked about it on this podcast. She's like Huell Hauser, like California's Gold. Still watch Huell all the time. I love Huell Hauser. And she went to this grow outside of Vegas, and it's just insanely massive. And you can see where they got a dozer and just dozed up berms. And it didn't matter if there was a tortoise or lizards or artifacts or anything. And when they got arrested, and it was so big, there had to be hundreds of people that were there, most likely, when they got arrested. And they just left everything there. All the frames for the greenhouses, every last bit of pesticides, the boxes of that stuff is just all there. Huge environmental impact. You don't need to go weed. Somebody else is doing it. I guarantee you. Like, you don't need to. There's another person out there. It's just like having a kid. You don't need to have a kid. I mean, every time that, like, I don't have a child of my own, and every time you find an empty parking space, like, give me a call and thank a person like me. I didn't create a little waste of oxygen, like taking your parking spot. I'm just kidding. Your kids on waste of oxygen. It's just a funny PSA. Oh, so that was fun, man. I don't know if there's anything else I want to talk about. What else is going on? Is there anything else happening soon? You got a music festival. Mule Days is coming.
Yes.
Right.
Mule Days is coming. I think Fiddlin' Pete, and there's a stand-up comedian at the bowling alley.
Oh, dope.
And something. What happened at the brewery? There's something going on down there as well.
I'm so
there's a lot of stuff floating on right now.
My job has encompassed too much of my life. Back in LA bowling. I know that we were trying to get those comedians to come up here, and there has been scheduling conflict on their end. So it's kind of a bummer because that was really fun to be a part of. And it's really weird that they're doing comedy at the bowling alley again, because we tried to do that and it didn't work out. Anyways, there's going to be a comedy there. Do you know when?
I did not know.
No.
All right. Well, my phone died.
Maybe it's on their Facebook page. Check it out and go support a local business. Mountain Rambler, I'm not too sure what's going on. They serve pizza there. Yeah. We've always talked about, we did it on the other podcasts, and we never continued to finish to do it, was the pizza test and tell you which are the best pizzas. Right? We can do that here.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Absolutely.
We're gonna look into that. We'll have to work that into segments.
Have you been to Uncle Sam's Asian Fusion? Over by Giggle Springs, he's got the
Oh, Uncle Sean, Sean or Cheyenne? Sean?
Sam.
No, definitely not that. Yes, I have. Yeah, that's my friend Donovan's cousin. Like, when he was first starting out, yeah, I eat there. Super good.
His Dragon Lumpia are just phenomenal.
Fire, free fire.
Just wonderful.
It's still hard for me to beat a saltado burrito from the Rolling Chef. It's with steak and the chimichurri on top of my meltwater, because it's one of the best burritos I've ever had in my entire life. It's amazing. Where else? The hot dog guy. I hope he's going to be out.
Yes, he was out there just.
Yeah, Mike cranks the best hot dogs, and they're $6, right? And the meal is like 9 chips and a soda for 9. Great food. Where else is new? Anything else new around? Everybody knows about the new Chinese restaurant. We need new restaurants, bro.
Yes.
Something other than. We need a place to do that. And you know where it's going to be, Jimmy? At the new residential development downtown.
By the Taco Bell.
At Taco Bell. We have the best Taco Bell in the world, by the way. I haven't eaten Taco Bell in a long time, and I went and ate Taco Bell, and holy shit. It's because of the water. I've scientifically proven it's because we have really good water, and then Taco Bell hydrates everything with water. And God, look at that beautiful boat.
Vintage.
Our Taco Bell's hands down like the best.
It is.
Yeah.
And do you like the Dorito? Yeah.
I'm a
Taco Shell.
I'm a creature of habit. I get almost the same thing all the time. And there was a time in my life when I was doing meal prep where I literally just ate the same meal for months, right? It was good. It was, what was the little tiny, not couscous. Is it couscous?
Couscous.
No, couscous is a little one. It was
Buglery. Oh.
It's like you can get it red and white, or there's just the white kind. Anyway, quinoa.
Quinoa, yes.
Quinoa, Brussels sprouts, chicken fries. That's how I lost a lot, of the weight in the very beginning before I started doing a gym. Was I was just I was on a diet. I just didn't eat, a bunch of poop anymore. And now I do the Cook Unity. I need to be sponsored by Cook Unity because I tell everybody about Cook Unity. Check out Cook Unity. It's a meal service. I get 12 meals for $164 every week. There's hundreds of meals to choose from. They're portion controlled. You have everything, all the nutritional value about it. And I don't cook. And they're good. I even had, what was it? It was like a 3-bean vegan tofu something or other. And it was delicious. I got it out because I wanted to get outside of my comfort zone and just try something. Amazing. It was absolutely amazing. So yeah.
So you like Brussels sprouts?
I love Brussels sprouts. And what I get from Taco Bell is, there used to be the Mexi Melts. So now if we get a cheesy roll up plus beef and pico de gallo, it's a Mexi Melt for not the price of a Mexi Melt. They're like $2.39, which is insane because they used to be 39 cents or something. Wild. And I get a beef and bean burrito plus rice and seasoned beef. And that's what I get when I go to Taco Bell.
A lot of people who don't like Brussels sprouts have never had fresh Brussels sprouts. Oh, we've had the bitter, nasty stuff from a frozen bag.
No. I'll make a Brussels sprout that'll make you want to slap your mama.
It's the same with rutabaga. If you get frozen rutabaga, it's just bitter.
Rhubarb?
Rutabaga.
Rhubarb.
It's no rutabaga.
Isn't that a cart?
No, it's a tuber.
Okay.
It's orange in the inside.
You're pulling my leg.
You never had a rutabaga?
No. That's a Studebaker.
No, a rutabaga.
That's a car.
Yes.
Right. No, I haven't.
Well, a lot of people don't like it because they've only had the stuff that's frozen.
Fresh the things.
Fresh rutabaga is just phenomenal.
I got out of my comfort zone. I had a bite of a beet salad. And it was delicious, dude. It was wonderful. I loved it. I'll eat a beet salad right now. Thank you, Gina, for the salad.
It's like asparagus in a can. It's mush. And you get fresh asparagus.
Yeah.
It's got that little bit of crunch, and you put butter and garlic on it.
Yeah. So like olive oil, salt, pepper, garlic, in a bag, shaky, smoking hot grill.
Yes.
Just to where there's marks, right? Just a little bit of marks, not crisp, but not limp. And like, I mean, I will eat a whole bundle of that.
Yes.
And then plug my nose when I pee. This is the strangest thing in the world. Like 4 minutes after you eat asparagus, your urine is going to smell. And I don't know why. I need a doctor on this podcast.
It's a miracle.
It's a miracle. That has to be the fastest, like, mineral export of body ever. I don't know.
Well, I will say that if you eat Korean garlic in Korea, it will come out of your skin in about 15 minutes.
Oh, really?
And people say, you need to take a shower. I did.
Just know it's
The garlic comes out of your skin. Yeah.
no. Yeah, we are what we eat. So we eat healthy.
Eat healthy.
Yeah. I want to say something, but I'm not going to it. Oh, my Lord. Jimmy, this was impromptu. This was amazing. Thank you, everybody, for watching. This is episode number 4, coming to a wraps here. Anybody that wants to come on the chat, man, come on and chat. I don't know.
Give a special shout out to a doctor who would like to come and talk about positive things.
Yeah, my doctor, right? Doctor, is his last name Dennis? He just became my doctor. I had to go to the doctor. So this is a crazy, it's not over, folks. I have to talk about this, and I'm glad you brought that up, a doctor. So I am of the age of colorectal screening. And I got a text message. I called them. I was like, hey, I need to do this. And they're like, you need to have a primary physician. And I was like, why? You're telling me that I need to do this from the health of my well-being, and you're telling me now I can't get that screening because I don't have a doctor. So I went and I got a doctor, and that cost me almost $300 because I don't have insurance. I probably could afford insurance, but it's just like, it's so crazy. The have-to-haves to keep your own health is maddening. I had to pay a person, right? So then he could tell me that what I already know. And it doesn't, it's just so money-making and gross to like if I wanted to do my own blood and just know what's in my blood. This is my blood. Like, it's my blood. And I want to know what's in it. And I have to go to a doctor. I can't just go get labs, right? And if I wanted an MRI, just to or full body, whatever, where they can like dissect your picture by picture, figure out what's going on in my whole body, you have to have a doctor to tell you that you need. And it's basically like, hey, doc, I want to do this. And he's like, oh, okay, here's a recommendation. So frustrating.
My sister has chronic sinusitis, and when it's spring and the pollen comes out, she'll get a sinus infection, and she takes some antibiotic. It works great. But every time she has to go, I have to go to the doctor, and they have to interrupt me. People say, oh, you have sinusitis. Yes, I know. I've had it for 20 years.
Yeah, it said the same thing last year.
Well, what have you done to treat it? This is specific antibiotic works great. Oh, okay.
Won't give you that.
Yeah.
And you wonder why people go to Mexico and get prescriptions. You know what I mean? Like, it's horrible, dude. Ugh, that creeped me out. And it's like, and the whole insurance thing is, it's so much money. So I elected to do Cologuard. Cologuard is still like $1,000, right? And it's like for people who don't have insurance, for people who don't want to pay $400 a month, who can't afford to pay $400 a month. And at this moment, I 100% could pay $400 a month. But that's just another expense that you have to carry just to try to be healthy. Ugh. It's gross. I don't like it. But it's the way that the world works.
You're playing the lottery. You're betting you'll get sick, and they're betting you won't.
Yeah. Yeah. Right. It's so true. And like I live fairly healthy. I don't have a whole lot of family history of horrible things. No. I just think that I'm healthy. Do I look healthy?
You look really good.
My doctor told me, not the doctor. They said I was obese, and I'm going to be 100% honest. I'm still 232 pounds. And it was just like, your BMI, no test whatsoever, BMI, horrible number, obese. And I'm like, I know that I'm a chubby old bear, just a chubby little potato out in this world. But if I lost 30 pounds to get to 200, I would imagine I would just be a ball of muscle. I don't think I have 30 pounds of fat on my body. It really does.
It's the thing. They have little calipers. They take the calipers to your skin and measure.
Me.
No?
No squeezings. He just told me I was obese and gave me a number of obesity.
My roommate in college, he looked like he was chubby. It was all muscle. They actually, they took him and they dumped him in a tank to measure his real body mass.
Oh, you're really fit. That's a solid man.
Yeah.
And like I've done construction and, you know, worked at the gym and been physical my whole life. Like I go to the gym. I have a lot of weight. I'm a heavy dude. I think if you're 5'9", they want you to be like 160 pounds. Yeah, I know. I wasn't even 160 pounds in high school. Right? Wow. But we got to be healthy. We got to do those things. So I am going to eventually get insurance, and I'm going back and forth between like Blue Shield and whatever the other people are, and it's $400 a month. But I am going to get dental and optical, and I am old, and I do need to do all those things. So
The finger.
Ugh. But thank you for hanging out with the doctor. I need to get that out. I think I got out everything that's been clanking around in my head for the past couple days.
What about lawyers? We covered doctors. What about lawyers? You covered police.
Lawyers make me very nervous because you don't win cases without withholding truth. In essence, lying. Right? So they always make me very nervous. I'm dealing with some of that stuff, which we'll talk about on a different episode. No, nothing too crazy. Just life. Yep. Yeah.
There's two sides to every story. Unless your lawyer went to Harvard or Yale, then there's 5.
Well, isn't it? There's 3. There's your side, their side, and the truth.
Yes.
And like I remember specifically in my point of view what happened in this incident with friends. Then it's a fun incident, and they describe it differently because their experience was different. Right? So like, what is a memory? Oh, like where did you know? Ugh.
I reject your reality and substitute my own.
That's what a lot of people do. You know what I mean? And then perception, like perception is everything. Like you could say something in a certain just words, and those, especially with text messages, and that's why they became out with emoticons, because it was just like, you say this, there's zero context to it. Is that a joke? Are you serious? Like, you know what I mean? Like, so we need emoticons for life.
It's like punctuation. Let's eat, Grandma. Let's eat, Grandma.
Right? Punctuation is everything, and I really try to hold it true in my text messages still. Oh man.
Have you seen any great movies or TV shows recently?
I watch the same things all the time. I'm a creature of habit, dude. There's no way I wasn't like born with a little bit of something, because I'm too habitual in my watching. Like right now I'm stuck on Aerial America. I love Aerial America. Like, and I'll love it for like another 3 weeks, and then it might be, what was it before that? It was Cheers. I love Cheers. I did MacGyver. Content these days is pretty selective what I hold entertaining. You know, I'm not a sitcom guy. The greatest sitcoms of all times have come and gone. I think the last greatest one I could put a thing on would be like Scrubs, or I don't know. The one with Sheldon was kind of funny.
Yes.
Right. Third Rock from the Sun was really funny.
Yes. Big Bang Theory.
Oh, the Quantum Leap. I was watching that. Yeah. The new Quantum Leap, but I haven't
seen the new one.
The new one. Great. Freaking great. A sci-fi friend of mine, he turned me on to it. It's on NBC. I think there's 2 seasons available. The Peacock, right? I call it the cock. It's great. It's absolutely phenomenal.
I need to write down the dirty joke I eat my tire.
So yeah, it's Aerial America. Last night I watched Boston. It's soothing. I'd watch TV typically when I go to bed, so it's like kind of background noise until I drift off into sleep. But yeah, other than that, it's just been a lot of the same things, and I try to mix in different things. So if you want to do something different with me, reach out, come on this podcast. I thank you guys for hanging out with us. Thank you, Jimmy T, for being the voice behind the camera there, and I have nothing but love for all you guys, so stay safe out there.
3, 2